Hello and welcome to the BBB Business Shield Security Series, protecting your business, your people, and your future. I am your host, Erica Genty, Microlearning Innovation Manager for NMSU Global. I'm also a board member of the Better Business Bureau of New Mexico and Southwest Colorado, and I'm a proud member of the BBB Security Committee. Serving alongside me are Dr. Mindy Brown, Director of Education at Intellitech College in Albuquerque, and Rick Myers, founder of Caldera Cybersecurity. Today, we thought we would shift gears a little from our normal podcast format and take a few minutes to talk directly with you about something that matters to every business: security resources that can help you protect your business. Small businesses are truly the backbone of our communities. You create jobs, serve customers, and keep local economies moving. But with that opportunity also comes risk. Every small business today faces a growing range of security challenges, from cyber attacks and fraud to theft, workplace safety concerns, and natural disasters. The good news is you don't have to figure this all out on your own. There are incredible resources available to help small businesses build stronger security practices. Today, we want to share a few key areas of security that every business should consider, along with trusted organizations that provide guidance, tools, and support to help protect your people, your property, and the future of your business. So to make this practical, each of us is going to share some of our favorite tools and resources, things that small businesses can actually use. Some of these are free resources from national organizations, and others are practical tools that can help you strengthen your security without needing a full security team. Our goal today isn't to overwhelm you with technical information, it's to introduce you to resources that can help you take the next step toward making your business more secure and resilient. So first up, we're going to talk about cybersecurity resources protecting your digital business. Cyber attacks are some of the most fastest growing threats to small businesses. In fact, many attackers target small companies specifically because they assume security protections might be weaker. So, Rick, why don't you tell us about some of your favorite resources in cybersecurity?
Well, thanks, Erica. I'd love to. One of the things that, I've learned working in cybersecurity for about 10 to 12 years now is you really can't keep up with everything on your own. You do need to have tools and resources and easy reads just to keep you informed. The threat landscape is constantly changing. There's always a new vulnerability being published. Next week, there's a new ransomware group, making the headlines. And before you know it, there's a new attack technique nobody saw coming. So pretty early in my career, I realized something. If you wanted to stay effective in cybersecurity, I needed a few trusted sources I could rely on, places I could go to stay informed, keep learning and keeping my finger on that magical pulse of cybersecurity out in the real world. Over time, I found a few resources that I'd like to share today. They help me stay grounded in what actually is happening in cybersecurity. They also make it easier to explain issues to business leaders who don't read or understand cybersecurity as part of their job every day. If I had to narrow it down, there's three resources that stand out to me and are easy reads for everyday use. They are the CISA website, and we'll talk a little bit more about each one of these as we go forward, the Hacker News, and the Darknet Diaries podcast. Each one of them serves a different purpose for me. One helps me understand what to do. One helps me understand what's happening out there. And one helps me understand how attacks actually unfolded. So the first one is the CISA website. CISA stands for Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. It's part of the government, and it's part of the organization focused on helping businesses protect themselves from cybersecurity threats. I point this site out to almost everybody I talk to doing talks with organizations. I point out CISA as a great resource because it's honestly one of the most practical places to start learning about cybersecurity. They publish alerts about vulnerabilities being exploited by attackers, and with checklists and straightforward guidance that businesses can actually implement. And let's be honest, most businesses don't have a giant security team. Usually it's a small IT group, sometimes one very busy person wearing about 10 different hats. That's why I like CISA so much. You can learn about ransomware, protecting your family's cybersecurity best practices, and more at CISA.gov, and that's CISA.gov. The second resource that I follow regularly is the Hacker News. If CISA helps me understand what I should be doing, the Hacker News helps me understand what's happening in the cybersecurity environment right now. New vulnerabilities are popping up, major breaches are making headlines, attackers are constantly trying new techniques. The Hacker News does a great job summarizing those developments so I can quickly see what's trending, what attackers are targeting, what vulnerabilities have been discovered, and what kinds of threats are emerging. I tend to follow their coverage of major breaches and ransomware campaigns and critical vulnerabilities because those stories often reveal how attacks happened. I'll be honest, I usually read the hacker news with my morning coffee just to see what's happening in the threat landscape each day. It's a simple habit that helps me stay aware of the bigger picture. You can sign up for their newsletter at thehackernews, that's one word, .com. I highly recommend it. And then finally, the third resource I really enjoy is the Darknet Diaries podcast. This one's a little different because it focuses on storytelling. Darknet Diaries tells you true stories about hackers, cybercrime incidents, major security vulnerabilities. Instead of reading a technical report about an attack, you actually hear the story and how it unfolded. Two episodes that really stuck with me are the Beirut bank job and the Xbox Underground. The Beirut bank job tells the story of attackers who patiently studied how a bank system works and then quietly manipulated transactions to move money without raising alarms. That kind of reminds me of that whole let's steal the half pennies on rounding errors at banks. So it was a very interesting story. And the Xbox Underground is about a group of young hackers who started by exploring video game systems, and eventually they broke into major companies like Microsoft and stole unreleased software. You know, kids will be kids, but they were getting into very serious issues. What both stories show us that cyber attacks often aren't just about technology. They're about curiosity, persistence, and understanding how systems and organizations really work. If you like detective stories, you'll love Darknet Diaries. I'll include the links to these episodes at the end of the podcast. New episodes for the Darknet Diaries are posted every first Tuesday of the month. Listen, download, and stream wherever you get your podcasts. So when I think about these top 3 cybersecurity resources, each one brings something different to the table. CISA helps organizations understand what they should be doing to protect themselves. The Hacker News helps me stay informed about what's happening in the cybersecurity right now. And Darknet Diaries reminds us that behind every cyber incident, there is a real story, and usually a lesson we can learn from. At the end of the day, that's really what cybersecurity is all about. It's about staying informed. So Erica, those are my 3 big resources that I use every day.
Those are excellent resources. Those are great. I have a couple of resources. The Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC, offers clear step-by-step resources to help businesses protect sensitive information and prevent cyber fraud. Their materials include checklists for securing customer data, training employees on cybersecurity awareness, and responding quickly if data breaches occur. And then there's the National Cybersecurity Alliance. They have Cyber Secure My Business. This is a nonprofit initiative providing training and awareness programs for small businesses. They offer educational events and resources to help companies improve cybersecurity from leadership to staff. And then finally, I have the U.S. Small Business Administration, or the SBA. They offer cybersecurity guidance and training events. Mindy, what resources do you have that are your favorite for cybersecurity?
Well, I based mine off of like from a practical point of view from a small business. So I started out with the slogan of start free, scale smart, so that you're not just jumping in and finding an organization to provide security for you, but that you're using all of the available tools and resources that are out there. And then another point of view that I was looking at is it always starts at the top. So you have to have your leadership being aware of security issues. And so making sure that the leadership is supporting whatever changes and whatever the needs are. And then the third aspect that I looked at was compliance versus culture. So there are lots of organizations that are maybe bigger organizations that are like, well, this is our policy and we're going to tick the boxes and we're going to do the things that, that we've been told are the right things to do, as opposed to let's change our behavior so that we are supporting a secure environment at our organization. So the first one I looked at was NIST, it's the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and they have a cybersecurity framework called NIC. And what that does is it helps you to map your organization's security responsibilities to the job roles at your organization. And it's a free resource, helps leaders see security as a workforce issue and a company-wide issue as opposed to just an IT issue. Security isn't a department, it's a whole job function for the whole organization. And then the second one that I picked was the Better Business Bureau, because it is your local network for everything business related. So if you go to the Better Business Bureau, they have a scam tracker, they have business resources, and all of those are going to help you because it's going to help keep things local, which I'll talk about again at the end. So it uses, identifies scam reports from local area businesses. These are then going to be highly relatable because it's a similar business or a similar location. And then the third one that I picked was the SANS Institute. And the reason I picked that one is because it, from my research, said that it was one of the national-wise gold standard for cybersecurity education, trusted by governments, enterprises, and my research found that this is where some of the experts train. So if the two free resources of NIST and the Better Business Bureau don't get you everything you need, here's a large organization that can help provide some material. And then I'm adding a fourth one because my research found that sometimes it's good to go local. And so my research showed me that Caldera Cybersecurity Services is a great local security provider. It's tailored to local threats and industries, live interactive training, and supports community-based security. So national tools can be great, but local threats are real.
Mindy, that's awesome. Those are some great ones, and I can't wait to have some more conversation at the end. I did want to bring in a couple more things. We were talking about cybersecurity, but we have some other areas for security for businesses. So security isn't only digital. Physical security is just as important. Physical security focuses on protecting your workplace, employees, equipment, facilities, threats like theft, vandalism, and workplace violence. Some organizations like the National Crime Prevention Council provide practical guidance that helps businesses reduce risks such as theft, vandalism, and workplace crime. And another important concept that businesses can apply is crime prevention through environmental design. It's CPTED. It's a widely used approach that focuses on designing spaces in a way that naturally discourages crime. This can include things like clear sight lines, well-lit entrances, and secure access points, eliminating hidden areas where suspicious activity can occur. And then security also includes protecting the people who work for your business. Workplace safety programs help reduce injuries, improve employee confidence, and reduce legal risks. OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, offers free resources and confidential consultation programs that specifically are designed for small businesses on topics like hazard identification with recommended improvements, assisting with developing stronger security practices and safety practices, workplace violence prevention, emergency response planning. These consultations are separate from the enforcement inspections, which means businesses can receive guidance and support to improve workplace safety without fear of penalties. Another critical area of security is emergency preparedness. Businesses should be prepared for unexpected events such as severe weather, fires, natural disasters, power outages, supply chain disruptions. So planning ahead can make the difference. One resource that I have is ready.gov. It's the business resources page that offers practical tools to help businesses prepare for emergencies and recover quickly when disruption occurs. This site provides guidance on incident management, hazard prevention, and resource planning. Another resource for protecting your physical property is the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety. They actually provide research-based guidance on protecting businesses from natural disasters and property damage. They focus on helping businesses prepare for and reduce risks related to storm, fires, and infrastructure. And then we have physical security threats. A valuable resource is the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The Department of Homeland Security provides practical resources designed to help businesses protect their facilities, employees, and customers from a variety of potential threats. So one of the most important things to remember is that security is not just about technology or policies. It is about culture, as Mindy brought up, and I would love to continue that conversation about that. It starts with leadership and that it is a culture. So do you guys have any comments there?
It is a culture. And one of the resources, because I was jotting down some as you were talking, Erica, but some of the resources that emphasize a strong security culture within your organization is KnowBe4. It's a product that I have used for years. It's a security awareness platform. They cover not only just phishing, but also mobile security. They cover certifications, things like that. It's a good education site. I encourage any small business to go look at, KnowBe4, KNOBE4, number 4. So KnowBe4. Another one that I would mention would be Have I Been Pwned.com. If you've never heard of that one, if you're ever wondering if your email has been compromised and where it's been compromised, you can go to this free website. It's haveibeenpwned.com. Again, we'll post the URLs at the end of the podcast. Put in your email address and it will tell you all of the breaches that your email address has been involved in and whether or not your password has been compromised during that breach, and also some of the details of that breach. Simple, easy to use. And then also one of the resources that people don't really think about, but if you have cyber insurance for your small business, call your agent and ask them about resources that they provide to help you maintain a safe working environment as well. So 3 additional things that you can do and pretty much for free.
That's awesome. I'm still stuck on the culture thing. Strong organizations build culture where everyone understands their role in protecting the business. That includes encouraging employees to report concerns and providing regular training and awareness and reviewing security practices regularly and keeping security simple and practical. And then I'm also stuck on that it starts with leadership, that it is from the top down and organization wide, that this needs to happen. It doesn't need to be overwhelming, but it could be some of the most effective protections. And these small steps can create big impact.
Yep. But security culture is extremely important. And they say the ultimate component of security culture is to understand that security is everybody's job, not just IT, not just the security team, but it's everybody's job. They also talk about the human firewall. When it really comes down to it, the human being is the last defense. If the malicious actor gets through your firewall, gets through all of the protections that are paid for, all the products that may have been licensed in your environment, and it comes down to it sitting there in front of you in your email box, it's up to you to identify that there's a phishing email and then it could be malicious, and to report that email to your IT security team and help them patrol the environment, as I call it. Go out and be a deputy for them and help them, secure your company.
That's interesting. And then really, really make it available to employees to know what to do. For instance, I received an email just the other day and I didn't know where to report it. I didn't know what to do with it. I knew that it was bad. I knew I shouldn't do anything about it, but I also knew that I needed to report it, but who do I report it to? And so that's really important to ensure that your employees know what to do when they do find these things.
Right. I think always remember the saying, see something, say something. So make sure that people are aware and informed, and even take that home with you. When you see something wrong at the house, your Wi-Fi not working right, your mobile device all of a sudden getting really warm and seems like it's doing something without your knowledge, check it. Go to the phone store, have them, scan the device, make sure you've got malware protection on your computers at home, on your phones. These are all apt to be, compromised in one way or the other as you're traveling through this wonderful world of the internet.
And
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think that you need to continue the training and not just put something out there, but continue it on. Sometimes you have turnover at work and you have new employees, and not just the set training that everybody goes through, but these are some things that we've run into. Phishing training, so that people know, hey, I see this email, it looks a little sketch to me, or what to look for in order to root out what some of the problems might be. Don't just assume that your employees know what to look for, but do, trainings and send out phishing emails so that they are exposed to that type of experience.
Dr. Brown, that's an excellent point, because training should be on a regular basis, not once a year. My policies when I work with my clients is to have 2 phishing simulations per month and 1 cybersecurity or security related certification related training per month that they go through. So they're not only receiving the simulation testing from a product like KnowBe4 or any of the other ones out there, but they're also getting reinforced to know about what the current trends are out there. A well-informed workplace is a stronger workplace as well. So make sure that they are keeping up with their training components.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's that I was going to add on to that, but I think you pretty much said it. Most organizations, if they do training, it's a once a year thing. And then it's like, oh my gosh, where do I find that information? And that was, the training was in January and here I am in October and I don't know what to do.
And you forget it. I had a situation just this week where someone called me. They were working on a phishing campaign that hit their company. They received 6,000 emails early in the morning, and their staff basically received them on their Outlook, and they started clicking and reacting to those emails. So they clicked QR codes with their mobile phones. They also clicked on links that were in those emails. They were clearly phishing. And this company employs a once a year type of training program. And on the other side of the spectrum, I have a company who follows my recommendation and does the simulation training twice a month, plus cybersecurity training once a month, a module, and they are not prone to that. And I've seen them actually fend those off very easily. So this is the difference between the repetitious training that you need to apply to your workforce so that they understand it, gets reinforced, and they don't forget it. Never let your guard down.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know that about the cell phone either. Yeah. So that happened to me. My cell phone started getting really hot. My battery would just stop. I mean, it wouldn't hold a charge to save my soul. So I went and bought a new cell phone. It didn't even occur to me that I might have issues in that area.
Yeah, the first thing, I would recommend is to recycle the phone. Okay, meaning just turn it off and turn it back on. Anything that might be resident would get removed at that point. But if it's persistent on the phone, it's just going to come back. It's going to run hot. And what it's doing is it's actually probably capturing your keystrokes or doing something. Or it might just be a really poorly written application. You never know, but you need to make sure you're checking it out to make sure, this phone just runs slow. No, there's a reason why it's running slow.
IT's first option every time is turn it off and turn it back on again.
Well, yeah, but that seems like that's the universal fix. But I always recommend it if you feel like you've been exposed to something, go ahead and turn it off in case something is just resident but not stored on your phone. It's just resident in memory. That will clear that up. And worst case is just just reformat your phone, set it to factory settings, and go back. And if you're still concerned, get a new phone.
$1,000 for my new one.
Yeah, I hate to say that, but it's like, okay. No, usually the factory reset will clear most everything on it. Okay.
Our latest cybersecurity or phishing attacks have been really silly things, and people click on them anyway.
Yes.
We're a technical school, and it's emails about, we have a grand piano for sale. I have no idea why people would be clicking on that. It's clearly not from the school.
Well, that scam is you got a grand piano they're giving it away for free, but they don't realize, they don't tell you there's $1,000 delivery fee, right?
Oh, so, yeah. No, this one is like list the prices for the different instruments that they're trying to sell. And it's been probably 5 or 6 different, it's been going on for months.
Yeah. One of the things that's really prevalent right now is I'm seeing phishing campaigns that send mail to you from you. So they're spoofing your email address. You get something in there that says note to self, typically in Outlook, and it's just their way trying to get into your network. And so it's usually someone from inside or yourself sending you an email. That's a big indicator. That is.
I don't see how anybody would fall for that. Like, I know I didn't send that email to myself.
I know. This is another symptom of the event that I just went through, is that these were all from that person to that person. They still clicked on it. They still, scan the codes with their mobile phones. Humans are humans, and that's why you need to train them so that they become that human firewall. If it makes it all the way through their desktop, it's now up to them to stop it, to break the chain. at that point. That's the important part. They got to understand what could be happening in their email box.
And Mindy, for you, it's even more complicated because you need to train your faculty and your staff, but you also have your students that you need to be able to train as well. So you've really got a wide variety of people that you need to educate on things like this.
And we have lots of turnover there too. We have new students starting every few weeks.
One of the things we used to do is I was working in higher ed, we would have a cybersecurity module in their orientation package. Usually it's like their first intro class. They would have a cybersecurity module built into it so that they were definitely going to be exposed to it. But yeah, students will forget and they'll just click on it and then, infect their phone. So we try to watch out for everybody, customers and, workers as well.
Absolutely. Any other comments before we close our session for today?
Wow, there is so many resources out there. But I think the point of today's 30-minute podcast, how it's going to be, is to give you several options. Pick 2 or 3. That's why I went with 3. I said, these are the 3 that always stand out to me. If someone's asking me, what can I do? What are my favorite 3? Resources. Now, they may not be the same as yours. That's fine, as long as you have 3 that you really like and can really use every day. And so I just say, pick your top 3 and stick with them and keep reading them, keep using them.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
So security today means protecting more than just buildings or computers. It means protecting your employees, your customers, your reputation, the future of your business. Small businesses are incredibly resilient, and with the right resources and awareness, you can build security practices that support long-term success. The organizations and tools that we discussed today exist specifically to help businesses like yours stay safe, prepared, and confident in the face of evolving risk. Because when small businesses are secure, our communities are stronger. As we wrap up today's conversation, I'd like to take a moment to thank my colleagues, Dr. Mindy Brown and Rick Myers, for their partnership and their insight in bringing this podcast and the BBB Business Shield Security Series to life. I'd also like to express our sincere gratitude to the entire team at the Better Business Bureau, serving New Mexico and Southwest Colorado, for their continued support in making this series possible. And most importantly, I would like to thank you, our listeners, for joining us. I am Erica Genty, and thank you for being a part of this conversation.